Okay, welcome. Wrestling Pins number 8. I do too many of these. I don't have a life. Once high school starts for me, freshman year, by the way. Once that starts, come September, I'm not gonna be able to pull off this many wrestling reviews. Also, quick disclaimer: I really want to do a review for the G1 Climax, but maybe next year. Because I'm not gonna lie, I just watched the first match of the G1 Climax A block. B block is tomorrow. I just don't want to do a review about it. Like, this tournament's gonna fucking 20-man tournament, and it's just gonna be a whole lot. I still need to do the AEW stuff. Impact I'm probably not gonna do till next week, because apparently Impact is gonna be later on today, which today is Friday, and they're just gonna have one showcased match over there. It's basically a recap a recap show of Slammiversary, and yeah, I don't really want to review just a recap show basically, and I don't want to review Slammiversary either. I watched the episode of Impact before Slammiversary, but I didn't actually watch Slammiversary, but I know what happens basically. We're going to review the episode of Impact next week when they have a full show. So there we go. And they're going to go through a whole nother rebranding again because Impact can't make up their fucking mind. Go back to TNA. Basically. Just do that shit. Anyway, so here we go. 205 Live, NXT, NXT UK, all in one. After this will probably be the Evolve show or AEW, whichever one comes out first, can't remember. And if they both come out at the same time, then I'm going to watch both at one shot. Laptop, phone, just like that. And so, yeah. That should be good. And then Extreme Rules, that's going to take a fucking while to do. First OD pay-per-view we're going to review is Extreme Rules, so we shall see how that works out. Not to mention, what else do we have going on? Continuation of the G1 Climax. Not going to review that. Probably not going to even watch it, because if I watch it, I'm going to want to review it. And I don't want to review everything I watch now. So yeah, I want to just at least enjoy it. Some stuff that I watch without having the stress of doing the script as stuff happens in the match to review it. So anyway, here we go. Starting off with 205 Live. Oney Lorcan hypes up his match later on in the main event against the daivari, and anything goes match. Basically fucking Extreme Rules, but say anything goes, so whatever. Basically hardcore Extreme Rules, that type of shtick. He says that until he gets attacked by the daivari, in which it is broken up by multiple officials, and Drake Maverick, who is not rocking the 24/7 championship during his job. Now it's 23/7, as Nigel McGuinness will say later on in the show, because for the 1 hour he's running 205 Live, the title would not be defended. It'll be interesting to see someone from 205 Live actually roll him up and pin him for the 24/7 title. Like, that would be interesting. I want to see how that works. I feel like that's going to happen probably in the future. I'm not sure though, because that 23/7 rule, that's not going to be true. It's still going to be 24/7, I bet. Well, if anything, he has to bring it. Anyway, but yeah, let's see where we're up to here. We get a recap of last week's confrontation between Brian Kendrick and the Bollywood Boys, aka the Singh Brothers. They were originally in 205 Live, and then they went, helped out Ginger and SmackDown, and now they're back in 205 Live, back as the Bollywood Boys. I believe they actually started off as faces originally, when they originally came to 205 Live 2016. But yeah, Sunil Singh with Samir Singh takes on the Brian Kendrick. Occasionally, let's go Kendrick chants. At one point, Kendrick, couple of weeks ago, maybe in a couple months ago by this point, Kendrick shaved off his beard and he looked like he time traveled back to 2008. It looked like 2008, maybe in 2003, Brian Kendrick. He doesn't age. It's just the facial hair that makes him look like, he's fucking old. He doesn't really age when he shaves it all off. And when he dyes his hair, he looks the same as he was in 2003. Yeah, throughout the match, the Singh Brothers will use their numbers advantage against Kendrick. So many and way too many hip swivels on the part of Sunil Singh. I know there's that basic taunt, but it's there's just too many of those. It got annoying after a while. Suplex is reversed into a captain's hook by Kendrick, and Kendrick goes over via the captain's hook. The Singh Brothers beat down Kendrick until Akira Tozawa will ultimately make the save. So there you go. I believe at one point Tozawa and Kendrick were rivals. A year ago by this point, maybe even 2 years ago. SummerSlam 2017, around that time, I believe. So, yeah, it all comes together. Storytelling, so that's pretty solid. I like that. Solid match, nothing to write home about, but gets the job done as the tag rivalry has most likely started. So, former rivals Tozawa and Kendrick will now team up against the Bollywood Boys, I will assume, and that'll be a whole rivalry. So, yeah, that's a nice way of planting the seeds, I guess. Shall see where that goes. Humberto Carrillo, I had no idea who the fuck that is. I've heard of him. Fucking haven't watched one match, but yeah. He gets a whole hype segment watching wrestling, grandfather's house, all that good stuff. Didn't pay attention all that much. So he gets a hype segment to have another match in 205 Live. I know this is not going to be his first match. But yeah. Street Profits defender NXT Tag Championships against Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. NXT hype. I didn't really have to write that down in the script, but they hype it up. We get Jack Gallagher takes on a local competitor. Gallagher wears him down throughout the match with great technical ability, as of course Jack Gallagher has. Ties him up at one point to the ropes, actually. At one point in the match. Stalin suplex later on. Mike Kness appears and just makes a mess on the outside as a ref, and Sean Daivari chase Kness off. So basically, Kness just wanted to wreak havoc, I guess. Just make it hold. There's a bee right by me. Great. Well, anyway. So yeah, that happens. Tries to distract Jack Gallagher. Ultimately, the roll-up by the local competitor does not get the victory. The classic vicious headbutt by Gallagher gets him the victory ultimately. And overall, great showcase of Gallagher's moveset, as a squash match really does for everyone, to be fair. And it builds up Gallagher and progresses the Mike and Jack rivalry. So it does 3 things in one, basically, or at least 2 in 1. So, of course, squash match works out pretty well in the favor of Jack Gallagher, so that's solid. It's pretty good. Maverick and Mike Kness segment as Mike threatens to basically realize his opponent come next week, and he says a whole lot of other stuff. I didn't really want to write that down, though. I was just too lazy to. But yeah, we shall see what happens next week. Oney Lorcan takes on the rear daivari. Main event time here in 205 Live. So basically, almost like every 205 Live main event, they could go all out for the next 20, 25, 30 minutes. And it'll be fucking awesome, as that is how I remembered Ali versus Buddy Murphy in an Extreme Rules match, which was probably the last episode of 205 Live Watch. You guys remember that one, Ali versus Murphy. They used the steel steps a lot. They had a whole lot of cool steel step spots, which I really did like. Yeah, that was the last time I watched 205 Live. Or at least a full episode of 205 Live. So yeah, there's a little backstory. So I haven't watched it in a while, but I know that Gallagher and Kendrick turned face and stuff like that. I know that basic stuff. I still watch some of the YouTube clips all the time sometimes. But yeah, that's how I remember that. And yeah, anyway, brawl ensues before the match starts. Chain raked across the face by daivari. He does this a good amount of times, a couple of times, onto Gallagher. Hip toss onto a ladder by Oney Lorcan to daivari. Inverted camel clutch with Oney Lorcan's head in between the chair, which doesn't really look all that, vicious, but it's still pretty cool to see. Obviously, it's pretty protected. Lorcan's head is not going to really hurt all that much. It looks bad, but it looks good at the same time. Bad as in, that definitely doesn't hurt him, but good as in, maybe that does hurt him. However you describe it. I guess it depends on if you think it's good or not. I thought it was pretty 50-50. So, it was a good spot, though. I don't know, could have worked out better. But yeah. Weird dive to the outside by Oney. I don't even know if that was a tope con hilo over there, but it was a dive either way, and it was something. I guess it fits his gimmick, so it was pretty cool actually. Lorcan throws a trash can to daivari midair, which was pretty cool as daivari jumped off the ring apron, tried to nail something on to Oney Lorcan, and Lorcan just threw a trash can, blocked him, hit him out of midair. That was fucking awesome. That was a nice spot. I like that. Lorcan gets launched from steel steps into a bridge of steel chairs. Good spot. The reaction probably could have been better. I get why it wasn't, because Lorcan's mostly his legs got majority of the impact before his back, so it didn't look all that devastating. So it could have worked out a little bit better. It was still a good spot. It just didn't get the reaction that it was probably trying to get, which I get why, but I still liked the spot. It just didn't get a good reaction. But once again, I get why it didn't. Alright, we later didn't get a spot that I feel like could have been a little bit better, as a splash from the top of the ladder does not give daivari the victory. I feel like it would have been better if Lorcan was on top of both tables. Or was it 2 tables at this point? I'm pretty sure both tables were in the ring at this point. But if he was on top of at least one of the tables and daivari did splash, that would have been a cool spot. Lorcan kicks out 2 though. The reaction is not all that great. It's 205 Live. The reaction, even when it's something awesome, it's not going to be all that good, sadly enough. But yeah. So that does not get daivari the victory. It didn't really look, it wasn't the proper way to, I guess, give him the victory. I'm not sure if that's his finish or not, to be fair. I don't really know. But if it was, well then, yeah. That happened. Suplex by Lorcan. Drew 2 tables, gets him the victory. I kind of wish the tables were stacked. That would have been pretty cool. It was not though, but it's a pretty good ending. And that was roughly maybe, not sure how long the match was, 20, slightly under 20 minutes. So yes, they went all out as well as they could. Hardcore stipulation, and it worked out well. Nice match as it showcased both pretty good wrestling and also some nice hardcore match spots as well. Pretty good spots. The trash can coming in play, the table spot. The ladder spot was not that great, but I mean it was good, but just wasn't major, I guess. The spot on the 6 chairs on the outside didn't get a good reaction. Well, at least I wanted it to. I get why it did, though. Probably could have been a worse landing for on lorcan, but it was still solid stuff, to be fair. Obviously, best match of the show, if you ask me, compared to the squash match and the Kendrick and Sunil Singh one. We also get, it's not how we ended off though, we also got a promo segment hyping up the match at Extreme Rules as it gives a recap of both Tony Nese's and Drew Gulak's past history, as of course both being heels. Obviously at one point the team up with Chart, and now Nese is the face. He's a tinier Neville, or tinier Pac, excuse me, and I'm still used to saying Neville. Adrian Neville, how about that, 2014. Anyway, and promo package was actually pretty cool. It gives backstory to how Nese acted. The premier athlete, of course, counting the 8 abs and stuff. He wanted to be taken serious, and I like that, because now he's a face, so he needs to explain why he had that cocky attitude, and he did, want to be taken serious and stuff, so it makes sense. And Drew Gulak's plan for Bear 205 Live stuff, he doesn't do that anymore, but he was a politician at one point. I do remember that gimmick. It was pretty decent, I guess, but of course, great submission specialist. So, yeah. So, overall, I rate 205 Live, I don't really know, I'm gonna say 3.7 out of 5. Yeah, I don't really want to rate any show 5 out of 5, to be fair. Because there is not a 5 out of 5 show. There is no such thing as a perfect show. Well, at least in 2019, AEW is not going to do a fucking perfect show. New Japan's not going to do a fucking perfect show. WWE is not going to do a perfect show. Neither is Ring of Honor. Apparently people hate Ring of Honor now. I don't know. I haven't watched Ring of Honor in a while, so I can't really tell you. Impact is not going to do a perfect show. To be fair, Slammiversary was pretty solid. Wasn't a perfect show, though. So, yeah. I'm probably never going to give a 5 out of 5 to any show. Whether it be a regular TV taping, just a regular show in general, or a regular pay-per-view, I'm never going to give a 5 out of 5. Closest, probably not even anything higher than a 4.5, I'm not really sure. But yeah, 3.7 out of 5 this obviously wasn't a perfect show. But it was, if you ask me, probably better than SmackDown. I forgot how I rated SmackDown. I believe I gave SmackDown 3.5 out of 5. So 205 Live was pretty good, pretty enjoyable. The squash match was actually entertaining, showed off Gallagher's moveset, and it progressed rivalries. Once again, I do think I probably shouldn't have rated Raw as low as I did, because it did build up, but wise of entertainment for me. So I should probably be rating this on build up and entertainment, which is why I'm doing it for here. So yeah, 3% out of 5 for me as well, because I did enjoy it better than both Raw and SmackDown, as both shows did have a good build up, but Raw was kind of boring and SmackDown was average. SmackDown was very good. Well, it was average, so that won't be very good. It was just good, I guess. However, both of them was not as enjoyable as 205 Live, probably because there is no fucking stupid no wrestling during commercial break rule. Because 205 Live does not have that rule, obviously taped after SmackDown, and there really is no commercial breaks to work by. It's the network thing. We don't need commercial breaks. So, yeah, overall, 205 Live does better than Raw, does better than SmackDown. Slightly better than SmackDown. SmackDown was, once again though, still pretty good. Moving on now, as we now go into NXT. I'm not sure if this was been 10 minutes into this video or not, but this is gonna take a while. This probably might take an hour, I don't know. I talk forever. So anyway, Io Shirai opens up the show to explain her actions from 2 weeks ago. Well, at least so we thought. She didn't really explain anything, but I wrote that down while she was making her entrance, basically. The crowd erupts in numerous chants before she can even speak. This is a good minute before she even speaks after she gets to the ring, due to crowd chants and stuff. Long pauses and everything. Short and sweet, as she says she doesn't need any friends or the fans. Simple heel heat. It's very basic, but it gets the job done. Simple heel heat, but nice, whatever. Decent. way. Velveteen Dream segment as he acknowledges rumors for his next opponent for the North American title. Only really 2 people asked him questions. Random dude, don't know who it was, and Kathy K. Dream, of course, entertained as always, even for the simplest of segments as this one was. And, he's asked about Roderick Strong. He does think that Strong is ready for a title match. And I believe that this is actually going to lead to a title match between these two in the future. Probably not at the next, no, probably at the next takeover, I'm not sure. Most likely at the next takeover, now that I think about it. Yeah, I guess, I will assume. Anyway, Damian Priest versus Blanco Loco. Or local competitor, Jobber, I guess could say, but he got his own entrance, so I'm pretty sure every Jobber in NXT actually gets that, though. I'm kind of still used to calling Priest Punishment Martinez, because Ring of Honor. Okay, I did say I haven't watched Ring of Honor well, and I'm gonna be honest, last time I probably watched Ring of Honor was during the whole Punishment Martinez and Dalton Castle rivalry, believe it or not, that whole rivalry. And when Punishment won the Ring of Honor World Title. That is the last time I've watched Ring of Honor, which just goes to show that it's probably been almost a year at this point. Not really too sure. But yeah, there's the backstory, so I'm still used to calling him Punishment Martinez. But Damian Priest is kind of a better name, not really too sure. Anyway, but Priest kicked some ass. The Reckoning and Priest goes over. Easy way to build him up and gain heat with his vicious style. Obviously not too special. It was a squash match like the Jack Gallagher 1 and 205 Live. Builds him up, showcases the moveset, all that good stuff. The stuff that a squash match does, whether or not if it really is needed or not. But, squash matches are really always needed to build up someone. Simple, easy, you can never really complain about it. It always has its place in a show. Obviously not a pay-per-view. So maybe sometimes a pay-per-view, but only on some rare occasions. But that's a whole different video for me to cover on when it's needed or not, to be fair, in pay-per-views. But yeah. Now I cannot wait for him to really become NXT champion, give or take 9 months. Every new top tier superstar that's debuted in NXT usually gets the title a year, slightly under a year later. Kushida probably as well. Him or Punishment Martinez most likely will get the NXT championship. Give or take 9 months. Maybe in slightly higher, maybe in slightly lower. But yeah, that's when it's going to happen. And then by that time, Adam Cole will be caught up to the main roster. Gargano will probably be caught up to the main roster. Ciampa probably be caught up to the main roster. Hopefully. Gargano is definitely, when you think of NXT, you think of Gargano. Anyway, this is a whole different topic I'm going off to. Anyway, so something that I really enjoyed. Basic. But, very simple. And that was the Killian Dane hype segment. Yes, the Beast of Belfast. He is coming back to NXT, and he's no longer in the shadow of Sanity. And I really did love this segment. It's a regular hype video. We get it every week on every wrestling show in the history of ever. But this one was good. It was fucking amazing. I loved it. It builds him up as a singles competitor and away from the shadows of Sanity. And just the way the storytelling was of how much he basically is built up as a tragic character, as this segment did build him up as, and it was good. I liked it. Great mic work for when he was talking in this segment. It was just good. It was very good. Builds him up. Cannot wait for that. So yeah, we get a continuation of the NXT Breakout Tournament, as this time it will be Boa taking on Jordan Mouse. Second match of the quarterfinals, I believe. I'm not sure, but whatever. I only know who these two were before, obviously, this matchup took place. But I was expecting a pretty good match. Indie darlings. Well, the independent wrestlers always put on good stuff, to be fair. Not to mention NXT is more freedom, I guess you could say. But yeah, I was expecting a good match, and they didn't disappoint. Was I expecting a 5-star classic? No, obviously not. But I was expecting at least a simple but solid match, and yes, that did happen. Anyway, so let's get into the stuff here. Boa beats down Miles for a majority of the match until a comeback from Miles, followed by a great 450 splash, or better yet, the Midnight Star, as he calls it, and it gets him the victory. Not really There was a couple of good striking games, good showing from Bo, especially in the striking departments. Couple striking ones, couple. He did wear down Miles from time to time as well. So it was simple, basic. Jordan Miles, he has some pretty good charisma, but I feel like if he was to win this tournament and if he was to be called up to the main roster, I feel like it'll be like an Apollo Crews type thing. Obviously, Jordan Miles has like a better thing than Apollo Crews. Apollo's just smiling and athletic. Jordan Miles is smiling, athletic, and I guess wannabe anime character, I guess. So at least there's a gimmick to that compared to Apollo. But I still feel like it's gonna be an Apollo Crews type thing if he was to A, win this tournament, B, get called up in the future in like whenever, a year, 2 years, I don't know. But that's way ahead of time, to be fair. So yeah. Shayna Baszler segment, as she mentions, basically they asked her a question about someone. I didn't pay attention to who it was until Baszler said that the most overused comeback story in wrestling or sports in general was coming from nothing and all that good stuff. So basically, coming from nothing, you discover the sport, and then bam, your life is all something good over there. Like it really is basic. It happens for a whole lot of people, but it's just basic, whether or not if it's a true story for the character or not. But it is true. So yeah. Baszler, great heel work, simple. Once again, there's a whole lot of simple segments that Ray just do a good job here for this episode of NXT. But then again, that's because I tried my best to not see the bad and stuff. So that's probably might be why I praise way too many things, to be fair. But yeah, easy heel heat for her, basically. She's a great heel. When will she lose the title, though? No one knows. I kind of want her called up to the main roster. I feel like it should have been done months ago. Probably even half a year ago by this point. But yeah, she's gonna still hold the title for a while, I guess. I'm not sure until when. Shall see, though. So Keith Lee's segment saying of how he has to be better than what he was this past close to a year, basically, as he is no longer limitless and he is now infinite. So yeah, he recaps losing to Lars Sullivan, losing to Cassius Ohno, which no one loses to Cassius Ohno anymore. Chris Hero, Cassius Ohno, who's now in NXT UK. Hopefully, I've been wanting Ohno to become an NXT champion for the past 2 years. Like, Ohno does deserve better. He's one of those guys that Triple H, to me, doesn't really push. Besides a victory over Keith Lee to set up for the rivalry against Matt Riddle. But yeah, I feel like Ohno's one of those ones that deserve better than other superstars in NXT. But yeah. Anyway, Keith Lee recaps losing those matches and says he has to be infinite. So infinite Keith Lee, no longer limitless. This probably teases a heel turn. Then again, that could just be me. It could be a change of gimmick, but like a serious change of gimmick. Like he's just serious about it and he's not acting like a heel here. But, you know, we shall see where that goes. I am kind of intrigued. So yeah, that's that. Solid stuff. Nothing really else to say about it. William Regal's segment from earlier on as he announces that Apollo Crews will return to NXT to take on Yujiro Kushida, the undefeated Kushida, next week, along with Adam Cole defending the NXT Championship. I think it's an open challenge, not too sure. Don't know. But yeah, looking forward to that. Shall see who, hopefully an NXT title open challenge. Didn't announce his opponent though, so I'm assuming an open challenge. NXT Tag Championships are on the line. Street Profits will defend against Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. Showmanship to start things off as the two face teams showcase mutual respect. This happens 2 or 3 more times after, and then after that, a whole vicious streak will be shown, as we will get to in a bit. Double Flatjack first to Lorcan and then Burch on to Lorcan, so nice job right there by the Street Profits. Lorcan and Burch cause some spots on the outside of the ring, which leads to a now vicious streak in Danny Burch. Hot tag as both Oney Lorcan and Montez Ford are now in. Some fucking stiff-ass clotheslines from Montez Ford and big-ass botched Alabama slam. And back suplex followed by a stand-in moonsault from Ford. Great combination on Montez Ford's part. He's entertaining and he's pretty good as well. Those clotheslines were really stiff though. Like, he probably looked legitimately pissed. But yeah, then again, could just be great work. So there you go. That was pretty good. It was a great combination. It was amazing to see. I loved it, to be fair. Back and forth exchange. No. There you go. Assisted slice spread from Oney Lorcan gets the 2 count. And then back and forth exchange from members and each team as the crowd erupts. And that this is awesome chant, rightfully so, as all 4 of them, they all get their strikes in there, they all get their shit in, and then they all crumble down to the ground, all of the competitors. That classic spot, the classic New Japan cliche spot, to give the fans a rest of the action that just happened. That classic shit. It always works out well. So yes, Lorcan gets taken out, followed by Spinebuster and Splash from the Street Profits to retain the Tag Team Championships as they pin Danny Burch. So there you go, great 13-minute match, around 13 minutes to end off NXT. At least so I thought, as both Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish appear on the ramp and taunt the Street Profits, so perhaps future NXT Tag Title match there, rematch clause I should say. And they taunt them to fully end off NXT. I rate this episode of NXT 3.7 out of 5. Yes, same rating as 205 Live. It's around the same, maybe even it deserves to be a 3.8 out of 5. Maybe even a little bit higher than 205 Live. But yeah, I rate them about the same. Whether or not that's fair or not. Boa and Jordan Miles, solid match. It did what it had to do. Wasn't great, I guess. Well, wasn't classic match worthy, obviously. Neither was the tag match, but the tag match was pretty damn close to like a takeover opening. Maybe if it was a little bit longer, could have been like an NXT takeover, opening match, that type of shit. So yeah, simple but effective segments from both Io Shirai, Velveteen Dream, Shayna Baszler, and of course William Regal. Solid breakout tournament match and great 13-minute match main event. So overall is a 3.7, same as 205 Live. Whether if it's deserving to be lower or higher, I don't know. You guys could tell me that in the comment section or the polls if I do 3 polls for this. I probably will. And now we go on to NXT UK. I've probably been doing this shit for half an hour now because I talk for a fucking hour. This should basically be a podcast. I should start calling these things podcasts because you guys are just staring at one picture. So this is basically a fucking podcast. But whatever. We get a recap, as we're now in NXT UK. We get a recap of Imperium's assault on last week's edition of the show as they beat down Mustache Mountain and basically fucking kill Tyler Bate. Poor good old Tyler Bate, the big strong boy Tyler Bate. Ilya Dragunov versus Ashton Smith. Gotch powerbomb, almost like the Gotch style power driver that Minoru Suzuki does. The Gotch powerbomb by Dragunov was fucking beautiful. Torpedo Machka and Dragunov goes over. I didn't really pay attention to the match all that much. Ashton he looked good at some points in the match. He had some good moments, and it was simple, solid match. I swear, by the end of the year, I'm gonna be saying the words simple and solid and decent matches and simple, solid segments, like so many times, like maybe 10 times every review, because that's really what it has been for basically all these opinion episodes. It's just been decent stuff, to be fair. But yeah, we get a recap of Jesse Gabbard killing Sia Brookside 4 weeks ago. Sia eliminating her and defeating Kira Kelly all in the past month, basically. So we got a recap of all of those. Brookside is interviewed backstage as she hypes up her match with Ginny next week, in which I'm assuming Gabbard is not going to be at ringside because she said it's going to be a fair fight. So I'm going to assume. Gonna take a wild guess and going to assume here. Jazz Gabbard's not going to be at ringside, but something's going to happen there, definitely. She's going to kill Brookside again over there. Yeah, Nina Samuel's segment with her adoring fans. Yeah, that segment happened, I guess. Cheap heat. Was it really necessary? This is the type of segment where you guys would probably think simple, solid, cheap heel heat for that one. I mean, no. Did we really need that segment? Probably not. But I did build her up, so yep, there I am again. See, thinking about the good stuff. Was it really needed though? Not really too sure. But yeah, that happens. And then this one, which really confused me at first. Candy Flowers versus NXT UK Women's Champion Toni Storm, non-title, obviously. And, well, when we go down the script, you're gonna see why I just am very surprised. Great technical start from both Storm and Floss. Kinda impressive from Floss since this is where we are. Since with a name and look like she has, I can't really take her seriously. Almost like a Bayley type thing. You couldn't take Bayley seriously, but then again, Bayley could back it up by wrestling. So can Candy Floss. But then again, Bayley currently, just is stale. So hopefully that doesn't happen with Candy Floss. I swear, that's such a fucking shitty name. It's a very shitty name. But she is very, very good. So can't really say anything else besides the gimmick and the name is something I can't really get behind. But wrestling ability-wise, pretty fucking good. It was a pretty good technical start. Sportsmanship was shown throughout the start until we get to a middle and end, and obviously things pick up the pace a little bit. The crowd hijacks with a "We Want Tables" chant at one point, which wasn't needed. I believe they chanted "We Want Tables." They chanted that in the 205 Live lorcan and daivari match as well. I didn't write that down though. Ultimately, lorcan did get the tables that the crowd wanted, and it was a huge pop as well. So there you go. We Want Tables chant wasn't necessary. It lasted for like 10 seconds or whatever, maybe even under that, but it wasn't necessary. It wasn't even important. It had a great technical start, if you ask me. Then again, I do love those kind of starts, the chain grappling. Anyway, Storm still gives Tony the victory. Solid match as both looked strong throughout, and it wasn't a squash for Candy Floss, so she did not get squashed by Tony Storm. She had a couple good moments, and ultimately it was Tony Storm that got the victory. Kaylee Ray attacks Candy Floss on the ramp as Tony runs up the ramp to check on her, and I believe it was Aiden English that said, "This is now personal," which it wasn't really. But whatever, I guess. El Ligero, yes, I'm saying El Ligero, and I'm still used to WCPW. Remember that 2 years ago? Obviously, it's now Defiant Wrestling, because, well, go to Holic, all that good stuff. But yeah, I remember when he was called El Ligero in WCPW, and now it's just Ligero. But yeah, he keeps a very Keith Lee on NXT type promo, so it's kind of awfully similar if you ask me. Sin's gonna have to change, the losing streak, something's gonna have to change. Heel turn is what I'm gonna fucking say, because I am a sucker for that. Even though it's probably not gonna happen for either Keith Lee or El Ligero, just a gimmick change. But yeah, so that works out well, I guess. It does the same thing. It does the same thing as the Keith Lee thing did. So there we go. Trent Seven in ring promo recapping last week's attack by Imperium, which is Walter, Fabian Aichner, Alexander Wolf, and a fucking other guy that I don't know. Hey, I knew 3 out of 4. That's good enough. So yeah, we got a recap of that. He recaps it basically, as he says that Bate has now been hospitalized. Rightfully so. He got the shit kicked out of him, especially by Walter. Trent says that he will cut the head of the snake as he is now targeting Walter, and he would do it for Pete Dunne, for Tyler Bate, and for the Trent 7 Army. Great fucking mic work on his part. I popped super hard for the Pete Dunne one, because, well, to be fair, Pete Dunne probably my top 10 favorite currently for the past 2 years. So yeah, I was happy about that. Very happy, especially after all the history with Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. All that stuff, the NXT UK title match history and all that good stuff. So I like that. Story 10 comes into fruition. So that was pretty cool. I liked it. Mark Andrews accepts Cashizono's challenge as next week it will be the main event of NXT UK. So I'm looking forward to that. Ono, knockout artist. Really want Ono to just win a title, whether if it's NXT UK, I don't care. I want him to win something. The fact that he hasn't left yet is kind of surprising. I don't want to sound like one of those guys that is going to end up saying that everyone in WWE deserves to be in AEW, which no, they don't. People deserve to be, other places besides AEW, and some of them just deserve to stay in WWE. Oh no, though, is one of those exceptions, probably the top exception that I think will probably be better off outside of any WWE thing. Because NXT UK, not sure how it's going to work out for him, but we shall see. The Hunt, Primate, and Wild Boar, and Dave Mastiff versus Gallus, which is Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, and Wolfgang. Holy shit, I knew all 6 of them heading into this match. I have not watched NXT UK since Walter retained against Pete Dunne in the rematch. That was the last episode I watched. I watched it during a field trip for school on the bus. So there you fucking go. There's the backstory. It was awesome. Brawl starts as Gallus retreat to the outside before both teams go into their respective corners. Is it just me or does not Wolfgang, Joe Coffey look like a hybrid of Killian Dane and Buddy Murphy? Kind of, like some Killian Dane, and then the face is type of like Buddy Murphy, and the facial hair and the hair is like Killian Dane. It's like a hybrid almost. Wolfgang is out here looking like a fucking Finley on steroids, like if Finley just like started doing drugs over there. It's the same attire, basically. Story 10 basically was guys were down to hunt and make sure neither Primate or Wild Boar make the tag to Dave Mastiff. Very simple story 10. We almost get that for every tag match, especially the ones with John Cena. Love Cena, but, it's kind of true. Once the tag is made, Mastiff kicks all of Gas's ass, all three of them. Massive power slam by Joe Coffey to Dave Mastiff, bottom rope, suicide dives by the Hunt to both Coffey, Joe Coffey particularly, and Wolfgang later leads to a false finish, as I thought the double splash by the Hunt would have actually gotten the victory, but no, instead, the faces do not get the final spot in, and Gas get the victory with Joe Coffey hitting a discus form onto Wild Boar, and the heels get the victory to end off the episode. So, originally, I wanted to rate this a little bit lower than NXT and 205 Live, but then, reason being, I'm gonna say this right now, it's a 3.8 out of 5. 3.7, 3.7, 3.8, NXT UK wins by 0.1 points. I feel like NXT UK did better than 205 Live, did better than NXT. Reason being is because the Candy Floss and Toni Storm match, that surprised me. It was very good. Obviously, Toni Storm didn't surprise me at all. She's great. But Candy Floss had some good shit in there, and it was very surprising. I liked it. The Trent 7 promo, loved it. Absolutely loved it. Great work on his part. And the tag match, while it wasn't... the Dragunov Ashton Smith match was kind of a throwaway. I mean, it's obviously the build-up Dragunov. And it did what it had to do. Dragunov was pretty cool. Not gonna lie, he kind of impressed. So, none too much to say about that. The tag match main event, though, that had a slow start. The basic tag team story time. But for the last 5 minutes, five or so minutes, I would say, for the last final 5 minutes, it did very well. It picked up, and that's what made me enjoy the match, the last final 5 minutes. The beginning was basic, but then the ending it turned it all together, and that's what made it slightly better than NXT and 205 Live, in my opinion. So, I rate it better than both Raw, then SmackDown, 205 Live, and NXT. Although NXT and 205 Live definitely are close contenders for being the best WWE show, if you ask me, of the week. Obviously, we still got Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules is probably not going to be all that good, but I'm still going to review it. Well, regular show and not pay-per-view-wise, NXT UK wins this week, if you ask me. Dragunov was fun to watch. Candy Floss showed off surprisingly good wrestling against Toni Storm, and the main event did pick up at the final 3 to 5 minutes, which would have made it good altogether. Very enjoyable episodes of WWE content so far for this week, except for Raw. But yeah, Raw was kind of boring. Probably should have rated higher. It built up nicely, but overall it's just kind of boring. So yeah, probably gonna do a main event review. Yes, we're gonna watch main event. No one watches main event. Fuck it, we're gonna do a main event review. That will be number 9. Before the AEW Fight for Fallen, we're not gonna do New Japan G1 Climax stuff. That's gonna take forever. So I'm not gonna do it. Probably not gonna even watch it. Because if I watch it, I'm gonna want to review it. So no. Extreme Rules, we'll review that as well. AEW stuff. We can review next week's episode of Impact, because apparently tonight's is just a recap show. So there you go. For some reason it's on Friday. That Impact was on Thursday. Don't care. I haven't watched TNA in forever. Well, at least last time I actually cared about TNA was a while back. So yeah, there we go. NXT UK wins for this week of WWE shows. Main event is obviously not gonna win. But yeah, there we go. Thank you all for watching. Wrestling Pins number 8. Catch you off for number 9, which will be main event. Number 10, which I guess will be the Evolve show. Number 11 will be AEW Fight for the Fallen. Or who knows, maybe we actually do both Fight for Fallen and the Evolve 10th anniversary show all in one. We shall see what happens there. I should have done main event for this episode. Fuck. Well, there we go. Thank you all for watching. Catch you all in the next one. And goodbye.